This is the brief on the Tyler Robinson case and his mother's plea for truth. So we're digging into that big Utah aggravated murder case against 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. He's accused of fatally shooting Charlie Kirk at an Orem event. And the focus just shifted because his mom, silent till now, released this dramatic statement. Okay, first, the mom suddenly broke months of silence via a letter from her lawyer. She pleaded for fairness, stating flat out, "My son can never be a human being." And get this, sources say the feds had urged the family into witness protection, warning their lives could be at risk if they spoke out. Second, the legal fight. The prosecution wants the death penalty. They argue it was planned, citing Tyler's DNA on a rifle towel found nearby, messages about the opportunity, and surveillance suggesting he scoped out the scene beforehand. But the defense says, not so fast. They claim it's circumstantial, DNA transfer is possible, the digital evidence chain is iffy, and they've requested an evaluation for Tyler's untreated psychological distress. And finally, the mom's statement really shifted the conversation, right? Moving it from just guilt towards needing patience and empathy from the justice system. She argued we're too quick to condemn, that outrage spreads faster than facts, and everyone deserves to be heard first. This high-stakes trial continues, forcing us all to ask if the accepted narrative tells the whole story.
Welcome to The Critique. Today we're looking at a piece on the Tyler Robinson case, specifically through his mother's eyes, after she broke a long silence with that public letter.
Yeah, a really powerful starting point. Captures the emotion right away.
Absolutely. Creates real empathy, real drama. But let's jump right in.
Okay.
Our first point is about structure and flow. The narrative, it keeps coming back to the mother breaking her silence.
Right?
And that repetition, well, it slows the pacing down. It actually makes the letter itself less impactful when we finally get the details.
I felt that too. It's like we hear about the silence, then the letter, then the plea for fairness, but it happens multiple times?
Exactly. Different sections cover the same ground.
Yeah. Like when it explains the family background and why they were silent. That comes after the initial drama. It feels like we hit a peak, then circle back.
Right. It stalls the momentum. You get the tension, then suddenly we're backtracking.
Like hitting pause right before the climax.
Yeah, exactly. So the weakness is that constant circling back dilutes the power.
Okay.
The suggestion here is really to streamline that emotional setup, build more suspense.
Make it more linear.
Yes, create a clearer forward path. Establish the silence, build the pressure, the legal side, the public stuff, then reveal the letter. One powerful moment.
Right, a cleaner build-up and release. So how would that look, concretely?
Well, one idea is to take those details about the Robinsons' quiet life in Salt Lake City.
The middle-class family, the reserved son, all that.
Yeah. Move that right to the very beginning. Establish that contrast immediately. Normal life versus this.
Okay, sets the stakes early. You see what was lost.
And then, the reason for the silence. The piece mentions the feds told them to keep quiet, maybe even witness protection.
Oh, yeah. That's a much stronger hook.
Right? Use that federal warning that's a high-stakes, concrete reason for staying silent. Much better than just, a general fear of being misquoted.
Okay, so anchor the silence in that specific, serious instruction. Establishes the danger right away.
Definitely. That changes the whole tension curve, makes the opening much more gripping. You feel the external pressure.
Makes sense. And the letter itself?
Combine the parts discussing its content. The lines like, "He deserves to be heard," "My son could never kill someone."
Instead of sprinkling them through?
Exactly. Don't use them as repetitive context. Put them together in one focused section when she finally speaks out. Maximize that shock value. One big reveal.
Okay, structure first. Got it. What's next?
All right, let's shift gears. Focus number 2, completeness and focus. This is about how the legal facts mesh with the emotional story.
Ah, the technical details.
Yeah, to really hit that theme of truth, those legal details, the defense arguments, the evidence, they need to be woven into the mother's narrative, not just, dropped in like a separate report.
Right now, it does feel a bit like, okay, emotional story pause. Here's the evidence list: DNA, surveillance footage, texts.
Exactly. It feels detached.
Like reading a police blotter snippet in the middle of a personal essay?
Yeah, it pulls the reader out. You're immersed in her perspective, her pain, and then bam, dry facts. It disconnects.
I see that. But isn't there a risk if you weave complex legal stuff like chain of custody into her emotional story? Does that dilute the empathy, make it too technical?
That's the balancing act. The suggestion isn't to turn her into a lawyer. It's to use the ambiguities in that evidence
Ah, okay.
as the specific reason for her plea. Show how the uncertainty around the DNA or the footage fuels the public rush to judgment she's fighting against.
So the evidence isn't just facts, it's the source of her confusion and pain. Okay, I get that.
Make the link explicit. So, for example, when she talks about how quickly everyone decided who her son was,
Right.
immediately connect that to the defense argument about the surveillance footage. Physical presence doesn't automatically equal guilt.
Got it. So her fear isn't just abstract, it's tied directly to how that specific piece of evidence is being interpreted.
Exactly. Or link her disbelief, her feeling that strangers are painting this false picture.
Mm-hmm.
Link that directly to the defense saying the text messages about the opportunity could be taken out of context.
Okay, so her heartbreak becomes legally relevant. It's not just emotion. It's emotion because of these specific debatable points in the case.
Precisely. It gives her argument legal weight. The evidence isn't separate from the emotion. It causes the emotion. It unifies the whole piece.
That makes a lot of sense. Tighter integration.
Okay, so that brings us to our third main point: significance and relevance. Basically, the so what. What's the bigger takeaway here?
The critique of outrage culture, the speed of judgment. It's powerful stuff.
It is. But the conclusion uses phrases like, justice cannot exist without empathy, which is true, but maybe a bit...
Oh, common. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when the piece itself points to something more specific, that whole digital court idea.
Exactly. The material has identified this very modern mechanism of injustice. So the weakness is the conclusion feels a bit too broad, maybe pulls its punches slightly.
It needs a sharper angle, tailored to this story's unique elements.
Right.
So the suggestion is, anchor that universal critique about listening, about patience. Anchor it firmly in the digital aspect, the speed of online judgment.
Make that the core.
And there are lines already in the piece that could do this. Like that quote, "In her words, the internet killed his voice before a court ever could."
Wow. Yeah. That's strong.
Or the detail about strangers deciding what kind of mother she was based on comment sections.
Thousands of comments. Yeah.
Those need to be elevated. They shouldn't just be supporting details. That idea should be the central thesis.
So the critique isn't just about impatience in general. It's specifically about how digital platforms accelerate condemnation. Loss of digital due process almost.
Yes, exactly. That makes it incredibly relevant, very contemporary. It gives the piece a unique, urgent angle. It's about this moment in time.
And it ties back to what was mentioned about political polarization too, right?
Absolutely. Focus the conclusion there. Contrast the noise, tragedy becomes politics, compassion disappears, with the quiet reality of the families involved.
Two families, yeah. Trapped in it.
And end with a plea, specifically about slowing down the digital condemnation. Make it actionable in that specific context.
So it's not just a general sigh about society, but a sharp point about a specific modern problem.
Precisely. It gives the piece real teeth, a significant contribution to the conversation.
Okay, these are really solid points. I think these changes could make a huge difference.
Agreed. So, just to quickly recap the actionable steps for the next draft.
Okay,
First, tighten that structure, streamline it, avoid repeating the breaking silence theme. Use that federal warning detail up front for higher stakes. Front-load the family background for immediate contrast.
got it. Clearer. Forward momentum.
Second, integrate the evidence. Don't just list the legal facts, weave them into the mother's emotional narrative. Show how the ambiguities in the evidence fuel her plea.
Make the legal the source of the emotional.
Right. And finally, sharpen the angle. Make the critique about digital judgment, about the internet killing his voice, the central thesis. Anchor the significance in that specific modern phenomenon.
Focus on the digital court. Less general, more specific and urgent.
Exactly. Those refinements should take this already strong material and make it truly incisive.
Sounds good.
We're really looking forward to seeing the next version. Take these suggestions, refine the piece, and please send it back our way for another critique when you're ready.
A human being. And get this, sources say the feds had urged the family into witness protection, warning their lives could be at risk if they spoke out. Second, the legal fight. The prosecution wants the death penalty. They argue it was planned, citing Tyler's DNA on a rifle towel found nearby, messages about the opportunity, and surveillance suggesting he scoped out the scene beforehand. But the defense says, not so fast. They claim it's circumstantial, DNA transfer is possible, the digital evidence chain is iffy, and they've requested an evaluation for Tyler's untreated psychological distress. And finally, the mom's statement really shifted the conversation, right? Moving it from just guilt towards needing patience and empathy from the justice system. She argued we're too quick to condemn, that outrage spreads faster than facts, and everyone deserves to be heard first. This high-stakes trial continues, forcing us all to ask if the accepted narrative tells the whole story.